A poignant conversation took place between the father and son on April 8, the day before Prince Philip passed away. Prince of Wales and his father Prince Philip reportedly discussed plans for the latter's trademark 100th birthday celebrations, and Charles received a typical Prince Philip response for his efforts. The late Duke of Edinburgh has been celebrated for decades for speaking his mind, and the 99-year-old responded in his typical fashion to a question from his son. On April 8, Prince Charles called Prince Philip at Windsor in order to discuss his approaching centenary birthday due to occur in June, and inquire with the royal about a party to mark the occasion. A conversation between the duo has been recalled by the future monarch in a new BBC One programme to be broadcast on Wednesday night, entitled Prince Philip, The Royal Family Remembers. The intimate exchange is said to have gone as follows: just one day before the Duke died on April 9 at the age of 99. Charles is said to have asked slightly tremulously, "We're talking about your birthday," as he was aware Philip wasn't keen on the idea of a birthday party. Aware his father was also slightly hard of hearing, the prince is said to have repeated himself a little more loudly and said, "We're talking about your birthday. And whether there's going to be a reception." Philip was said to have retorted with a quip in the style he's known for, by saying, "Well, I've got to be alive for it, haven't I?" The programme is set to be personal and intimate as the royals fondly remember the Duke and his unyielding spirit. Alongside the more touching moments like the aforementioned exchange, hilarious anecdotes are also shared during the broadcast, including one between Prince Philip and his grandson Prince William. The Duke of Cambridge is said to have referred to an outing the pair had made to a remote spot on the Queen's Balmoral estate. During their trip, the grandfather and grandson duo stumbled across a group of young walkers undertaking an expedition for their Duke of Edinburgh award, famously created by Prince Philip. William recalls, "He stopped and wound down his window and said, 'Good morning. How are you getting on?'" Trademark, the smallest of the young men at the back of the group, is said to have turned around, responding to the question by effectively saying, "Jog on, Grandpa." Prince William admits that the response was actually far ruder, but that his grandfather was unperturbed by the response and found it hilarious. The late Duke of Edinburgh reportedly wound the window back up and turned to his grandson and said, "The youth of today." Campaign by pressure group, Republic, says it has raised in excess of $25,000 through its billboard drive against the royal family. In its most recent set of billboards, predominantly put up in Wales, the pressure group has explicitly targeted Prince Charles. One, seen in Wales, reads in Welsh and English, "Wales doesn't need a prince." The sights sparked outrage amongst royalist Brits, who took to social media to vent their frustrations. At AngryPerson974 on Twitter said, "Wales needs to wake up and realise that without the government in London doling out money to them, they would be well and truly buggered." The Prince trademark and his family brings in some money through tourism, which ends up in one way or another in the pockets of the Welsh population. Another user, at G_Busby80, suggested the billboards had anti-English undertones. On Facebook, Welshman Rob Ingram felt obliged to atone for the actions of his compatriots. "I apologise for my countrymen," he said. But Samantha Elam took the moment to express her pride in the royal family. In a well-received reply to a Facebook post, she said, "I am proud to have our monarchy." Reports suggest similar posters have been spotted across South Wales, including in Aberdare, Cardiff, and Swansea. Other billboards from the group were also spotted in July across the UK. Sky News claims Portsmouth, Birmingham, Stoke-on-Trent, Manchester, Leeds, Newcastle, Glasgow and Aberdeen were among the places hit by the anti-monarchy billboard blitz. The leader of the Tory party in Wales, Andrew R.T. Davies, has also come out to criticise the billboards. He told Mail Online, "The royal family are extremely popular in Wales, and that is because their presence provides guaranteed stability in the UK and they are fantastic ambassadors for this country." But Republic claimed they have more support in Wales than the Conservative Party. In a tweet, they said, "There's more support for us than them in Wales." While Republic have just 31,000 Twitter followers, the Tory party obtained over 550,000 votes and hold 14 Welsh seats in the House of Commons. A poll commissioned by the Western Mail from Beaufort Research found that 61% of people in the Principality are in favour of seeing Prince William being made the Prince of Wales at an investiture. This includes 60% of Welsh speakers in Wales. His father, Prince Charles, had his investiture at Carnarvon Castle in 1969 and also spoke in Welsh at the ceremony. Charity's executive director Chris Martin has temporarily stepped down pending the outcome of the investigation into the claims, it has been revealed. This comes just hours after Douglas Connell, who was appointed chair of the Prince TMS Foundation trustees in March, quit. Upon stepping down, Mr. Connell said to be shocked and dismayed by the recent allegations, adding, "I and the other members of the Board of Trustees had no knowledge of any such activity, and we have launched a rigorous and independent investigation. My view is that the person chairing any organization should take responsibility if it appears that serious misconduct may have taken place within it." A spokesman for the Prince's Foundation said it respected and understood Mr. Connell's decision to step down. It added Dame Sue Bruce, the vice chairman, would take the helm with immediate effect. These blows follow the decision taken earlier this month by Michael Fawcett, one of the Prince of Wales's closest aides and chief executive of his foundation, to step down after the cash for honours allegations emerged. Queen carried out a personal investiture despite still being on her Scottish holidays. The court circular, which shows every official engagement carried out by senior members of the firm, recorded on Monday Her Majesty had met Peter Troughton, a family friend and member of the Royal Collection Trust, RCT. During their private audience, the Queen invested Mr. Troughton with the insignia of a Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. He had been listed among the recipients of a CVO in the Queen's 2021 New Year's honours. Investiture ceremonies are usually carried out by the Queen, Prince Charles, Prince William or Princess Anne at a royal palace. They are normally attended by groups, but the Queen has occasionally bestowed these honours during solo ceremonies to people she is close to. Moreover, in July 2020, she led a very special investiture in the quadrangle at Windsor Castle to honour Captain Tom Moore and pay tribute to his extraordinary fundraising effort in the midst of the first national lockdown. Mr. Troughton has been seen in public with the Queen in the past. As noted by royal blogger Gertz Royals, he joined Her Majesty in 2018 at Royal Ascot. On the fourth day at the Ascot racecourse, Mr. Troughton joined the Queen, the Earl of Snowdon and the Monarch's racing manager in the carriage to take part in the traditional procession ahead of the races. The Queen travelled to Balmoral for her first summer holiday without Prince Philip on July 23. While there, she is believed to have been visited by a number of relatives including Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew. In mid-August, Princess Eugenie was spotted arriving at Aberdeen Airport likely to join the monarch at the castle. And as August ended, Vanity Fair reported the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and their 3 children had spent the last week of the month with the Queen in Scotland. The Queen is expected to remain at Balmoral until the beginning of October. But, as she signalled with this week's investiture, while in Scotland she will carry out important engagements. On October 2 she will attend the opening ceremony of the Scottish Parliament, accompanied by Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. This important engagement marks the first of a series of face-to-face royal duties by Her Majesty. A few days later, she will return to Buckingham Palace to launch the Queen's baton relay for the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. On October 12, accompanied by Princess Anne, she will head to Westminster Abbey for a service of thanksgiving to mark the centenary of the Royal British Legion. Other events already penciled in the Queen's diary for October include the attendance at the opening ceremony of the Senedd and a reception at Windsor Castle. The Queen will be in Scotland once again in November when she will attend a reception on the occasion of the COP26 summit in Glasgow. While her diary already appears full for October, Buckingham Palace hasn't announced in advance any royal outings for the Queen this month. The Chelsea Flower Show will take place next week after being pushed back in May to avoid COVID restrictions. Since 1952, the Queen has attended every single edition of the show with the exception of 2. But, given she is still in Scotland, it is unlikely she will make an appearance at the London-based event this year.